So after the first problem, let us continue further and see another problem on the same thing. So the other problem number 3.3 goes this way. A rectangular beam 230 mm wide, 400 mm effective depth carries a UDL of 20 kN per meter under working condition inclusive of self weight. The beam is reinforced with 3 bars of 16 mm diameters and it is simply supported having an effective span of 3 meters. M20 concrete is used and Fe415 steel is used for the beam. Design the beam for shear with vertical stirrups. So in the solution, first we write down all the data. So the data is compiled over here. Width is 230, the effective depth is 400, the W is 20 kN per meter, that is under the working condition. AST given to us is 3 bars of 16 mm, it is simply supported beam. L given is 3 meters, M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. So we are supposed to do design for shear. So design for shear with vertical stirrups, that is what has been expected. Design the beam for shear with vertical stirrups. So we calculate the value of VU. In order to calculate the value of VU, the shear force for a simply supported beam with a UDL, the maximum shear force is given as W into L by 2. Now what is W? Now since this W is working condition, it is W multiplied by 1.5. Please note that the load has been converted to ultimate load by multiplying a load factor over here. So 1.5 into 20 multiplied by 3 by 2. So 3 is the effective span what has been already given to us, divided by 2. So we get the ultimate shear force coming on the beam. Obviously at the support, the maximum shear force is at the support, which is equal to 45 kN. Having got this, let us proceed to the step number 2. The step number 2 is calculate the value of nominal shear stress. Now nominal shear stress is tau V. So that is given by the clause 40.1, page number 72 of IS 456-2000. When we refer page number 72 or clause 40.1, we find this: the nominal shear stress in beams of uniform depth shall be obtained by the following equation: tau V is equal to VU upon BD. As mentioned earlier, this is B into D over here, where B is the effective depth, effective width, D is the effective depth, and this is the ultimate shear force. So tau V is equal to VU upon BD. VU has been found out as 45 kilonewton. So that is being converted into newtons as 45 into 10 raised to 3. B is known as 230, that is already given to us, and D effective depth is given as 400. So from here we get the value of tau V as 0.489 Newton per mm square. The value of tau V, the nominal shear stress coming on the beam due to the ultimate load which is acting on the beam, is 0.489 Newton per mm square. So we have finished with step number 2. Let us proceed with step number 3. Having got the nominal shear stress, let us find out what is the capability of or maximum shear stress the concrete can take by itself without crushing. So that is, find the value of tau C max from table number 20 on page number 73 of IS 456-2000. So now over here for M20 concrete, the value of tau C max is 2.8. So tau C max for M20 concrete is 2.8 Newton per mm square. Now step number 4. Having got this, compare tau C max and tau V. Tau C max is 2.8 Newton per mm square and tau V is 0.489 Newton per mm square. So over here we understand that the value of tau C max is much greater than tau V. That means the capability of the beam is better. Its shear, the concrete can resist the shear stress up to 2.8 Newton per mm square before it would actually collapse, before it would actually crush. So tau C max we are finding is greater than tau V. So if tau C max is greater than tau V, that is we are looking at the step number 5, the value of tau C has to be found out. Now how do we get the value of tau C? That value of tau C is obtained from table number 19. Table number 19 of the code, that is given on page number 73 of the code. Now in order to find the value of tau C, Tau c is the inherent strength, its own strength of resisting shear. Now this resisting own strength, there are various parameters as we have discussed earlier. Two of the parameters which are very important in defining this its own strength tau c are the grade of concrete and the amount of steel provided, that is the percentage of steel provided in the section, tension steel provided in the section. So in order to find this tau c, we need to find out the area of steel provided in the flexural tension. So we go ahead, we have been given that there are 3 bars of 16 provided. So let us find the value of AS. AS is 3 pi by 4 into d square. So AS is equal to 3 into pi by 4 into 16 square. So AS is 3 into 201, or AS is 603 mm square. So we have got the value of AS as 603 mm square. So let us find out what is this value, 100 AS upon BD, so that we can refer to this table. 100 AS upon BD is 100 into AS is 603, B is given as 230, D is given as 400. So from here we get the value of 100 AS upon BD as 0.65. We have got the value of 100 AS upon BD as 0.65. I believe this has erroneously come from the previous problem over here. That's a mistake. We don't have to refer this one. So the value of AS upon BD is 0.65. Now having got this value of AS upon BD as 0.65, let us refer to this table. Only part of the table has been shown over here. Let me again mention, this is table number 19 given on page number 73 of IS 456-2000. So now in this, looking at the type of concrete, whichever concrete we are using, look at this. I think it is M20 concrete which has been given to us. Yes, M20 concrete has been given. So there has been a typographical error over here. This is M20 concrete. So when we know that this is 0.65, 0.65 remains between 0.50 and 0.75. And for M20 concrete, the value is 0.48 and 0.56. So for 0.5 it is 0.48, for 0.75 it is 0.56. So tau c for M20 concrete for 0.5 is 0.48, 0.75 it is 0.56. So these are the values which we have got, 0.48 and 0.56 for this. So by the method of mathematical interpolation, for 0.65, sorry, this is not 0.82, it is 0.65 which has been taken over here. It is not 0.82. There is an error which has been copied down from the previous problem. So 0.48, the smaller value, plus the difference between these two, 0.56 minus 0.48, divided by the corresponding difference over here. So we have taken 0.56 minus 0.48, so 0.75 minus 0.5 into the value, that is 0.65 minus the smaller value 0.5. So from here we get tau c is equal to 0.48 plus the difference between these two, 0.08 divided by 0.25 into the difference between these two is 0.15. So tau c is equal to 0.48 plus 0.08 divided by 0.25 gives me 0.32 into 0.15. So this comes to 0.48 plus this value comes to 0.048. So the value of tau c comes to 0.528. So tau c, the inherent capacity of the beam due to the type of concrete it is having, the type of steel it is having, the amount of steel it is having, the aggregate interlock, considering all those things, its value, inherent capacity is tau c, that is 0.528. Now look at this, you always compare this value with these two. This value should always come in between these two, otherwise there is some mistake in our calculation. So tau c has come equal to 0.528 Newton per mm square. The next step, compare tau c, that is its inherent capacity, and tau v. Now tau c is 0.528 and tau v is 0.489. So which means the inherent capacity, its own capacity of resisting shear due to the reinforcement provided, due to the type of concrete and all the other parameters, is greater than the shear stress created by the external acting force. So the value of tau c is greater than tau v. Its own capacity is greater than tau v. So tau c greater than tau v. In that case, what is the next step? We look at step 7a. Step 7a is when tau v external acting shear stress is less than the inherent capacity of the concrete. So now if that is the thing, then give a check for provision of minimum shear reinforcement. Now we have to provide minimum shear reinforcement. We know that the inherent capacity of the beam is much more than the external acting shear stress, but still the code says we have to provide minimum shear reinforcement. So in order to provide minimum shear reinforcement, the clause is 26.5.1.6 on page number 48. It says minimum shear reinforcement in the form of stirrups shall be provided such that ASV upon B into SV is greater than or equal to 0.4 upon 0.87 Fy. Now in order to solve this, ASV, I assume the diameter of the shear stirrups and the number of legs of the stirrups. So assume two-legged 8 mm dia vertical stirrups. I am free to assume anything over here, but minimum number of legs can be 2. It can never be 1 because the loop has to go outside and covering the reinforcement. Minimum legs have to be 2. So assume two-legged 8 mm dia, that's the minimum possible for me, vertical stirrups. So calculate ASV. Since there are 2 legs, pi d square by 4. So 2 legs into pi by 4 into 8 square gives me 2 into 50. That is ASV is 100. B is already known to me. This is known, this is known, this is known. So let us see what is the calculation. ASV upon B into SV is greater than or equal to 0.4 upon 0.87 Fy. Looks like this. 100 divided by, this is 230. SV greater than or equal to 0.4 upon 0.87 Fy. So SV comes less than or equal to 392.44 mm. From here, this calculation, the value of SV can be less than or maximum equal to 392.44 mm. Now there is another clause. Now the spacing has come to this much. So let us see further. Check for maximum spacing as per IS 456 clause 26.5.1.5 on page number 47, continued on page number 48. It says if it is vertical stirrups, then the spacing shall not be greater than 0.75 d or not more than 300 mm. So 0.75 d, 0.75 into 400 comes to 300 mm or not more than 300. So what are the three? One is 392, second one is 300, third one is 300. Which is the smallest one in this is 300 mm. So we cannot exceed the spacing of 300 mm on the side. So if I am providing two-legged 8 mm dia stirrups, two-legged 8 mm dia stirrups, I have to choose any value which is the least of this. So least is 300, but while providing, what I will do is I will take still lesser than that to ensure that everything is done properly on the side. So least is 300, but provide two-legged 8 mm dia stirrups at 250 mm center to center. The beam looks like this. It's a simply supported beam. The two-legged 8 mm dia stirrups are throughout 250 mm center to center. 3 bars of 16 are provided. 2 bars of 8 are hanger bars over here. Now when we see the cross section taken anywhere over here, 230 mm is the width, 400 mm is the effective depth. There are 3 bars of 16 which are shown like this, and these stirrups tor 8 at 250 mm. Tor 8, two-legged tor 8 at 250 mm. Here we need not write two-legged because the two legs, the two vertical legs are clearly seen over here. Okay, so it is understood that it is two-legged. The vertical legs, one leg, second leg, two-legged, 8 dia stirrups at 250 mm center to center. 250 mm center to center starts from the face of this, goes on to the face of this. So that's how we detail a beam after designing. So we have designed a beam for shear when the inherent capacity of the beam tau c is greater than tau v. So even when tau c is greater than tau v, the inherent capacity of the beam is more than the shear stress coming on the beam. We have to provide minimum shear reinforcement, and for that minimum shear reinforcement we have to take care of the maximum spacing. So that's the type of problem